So what I want to talk about in this short video clip is how trauma can impact the brain. When in one of my many different stops in life and journeys, I used to live in Alaska, in southeast Alaska, a place called Sitka. It's a small island, 14 miles of paved road, one stoplight. Anyway, it's out in the wilderness. And when I am at retreat with the ladies and doing the 5 key strategy presentation, I tell a story that talks about how the brain, how we're built to respond to stressful situations and possible traumatic environmental situations that we come across. It was common to see bears fishing. There were a lot of salmon runs, but I never saw one up close until my last week in Sitka. And at that time, my family had all moved down south. Everything's considered down south up in Alaska. And I was house sitting for a friend. And I was watching a little Yorkshire Terrier walk down to the landing, looked out, and there's a little walkway, and then I saw a bear. And I knew how big the bear was because there was context. We had our Dodge Caravan minivan sitting, right out there in the driveway in a street light, and then right behind, about 20 feet away from me, was a huge bear. And at the time, it looked like about half the size of our minivan. I mean, it was huge. And I was holding a little dog, and what do you think the dog's doing, right? It's yelping, making, just going nuts like this. The bear turns and looks at me. And it was in that moment, okay, and this is how our limbic system works, our survival system. I went into survival mode. It's like, the bear looked at me, I kind of crouched down and looked at him, wondering what he was gonna do. And he took a step, just his little paw, or big paw, went forward and down a little bit. And immediately I was kind of in that fight or flight mode, wondering what I was gonna do, how I was gonna respond. And my first reaction, guess what it was? It was actually to throw the dog to the bear and then turn her. I didn't do that, but that was my instinctive reaction, to throw the dog and then run up the stairs, slam the door, push the bed against the door, and then barricade the bed with the dresser against the wall so the bear couldn't get in if it started charging. Heart was beating really fast. Adrenaline was flowing through my system. And luckily, the bear turned and walked around the side of the house. And I heard it crunching in the forest. It was just a massive creature. And then here's what happened, and this is how the brain is meant to work, is that after things quieted down, the dogs start yelping, they were quiet and calm, then I started to calm down. So maybe 10 minutes, after that experience, then I'm going, oh, wow, that was really an interesting experience. But see, I was safe then, and so I was able to calm down. The challenge with the issue of childhood trauma, when things happen that you can't escape from, and that the brain has a tendency to get stuck, in the sense that the bear always seems to be right there. So as survivors try to flourish and thrive in the world, their limbic system, a little place in there called the hippocampus and the amygdala, work together, and the thalamus, all these little places work together to protect an individual. But because of the experiences that we've had in the past, it can project things in the present moment to make things seem unsafe when actually they are safe. That's where the healing process and understanding what trauma does to the brain and the healing process of the 5 key strategies can do to truly help you at a deeper level, learning how to surrender to those thoughts and feelings when something in the environment triggers you. There's nothing wrong with you when you're triggered. That's just your system doing what it does by nature. And so when you're triggered, oh, there it is. There's my limbic system, because it remembers what happened in the past, and the brain learns through association, and that's why that we are triggered from the environment from time to time. So that's not the issue at all. There's nothing wrong with you if you're triggered. But the real issue of living an empowered life is, what do you do with that trigger? And can you learn certain strategies that can help you deal with a trigger? And that's what the key strategies can help you do.